Good morning. It is now promptly 9:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you are on your way in, please find your seats quickly. Please rise as the Louis Milan Post 101 Auxiliary and Sons of the Legion advance the colors.
Color bearers, advance the colors. Squad 10 hut. Present arms. Color bearers, post the colors. Order, arms.
You may be seated. Good morning. As the 6-12 principal at Wilber-Clatonia Public Schools, it is my honor to welcome you all to the 2025 Veterans Day program. Thank you for being here today as we gather to honor our veterans and those who have served in the armed forces. I want to first direct your attention to the list of veterans that we have printed on the attachment to the program. Today we honor these veterans that are tied to our current students and former students of Wilber-Clatonia Public Schools. With the help of the Wilber-Clatonia Girl Scouts, I do ask that you rise one more time, then place your hand over your heart and join us as they lead us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Following the Pledge of Allegiance, please stay standing because we are going to sing this, or the choir is going to sing the Star Spangled Banner under the direction of Mr. Mark Boyer. At our school, we want to create an environment of respect and appreciation for our veterans. They are not just heroes in our storybooks, they're our neighbors, our family, and our community members. Each veteran carries with them stories of courage and determination, their memories and sacrifice that remind us of the cost of our freedom. Let us take a minute to reflect on their actions. Many of them have faced challenges that we cannot even begin to imagine. They have seen the world in ways that have shaped their lives and in turn have shaped our communities. As we honor them today, Let us recognize the importance of supporting our veterans in their journey after service. We must be sure that they receive the care, the respect, and the opportunities that they deserve. To all the veterans in our audience today, we thank you. We thank you for your service, for your sacrifice, and for your undeniable dedication to our country. You have fought for our rights, for our safety, and for our future. Your bravery inspires us all, and it is important that we continue to honor that bravery in our everyday lives. At this time, I'm going to ask Student Council President Jamison Conway. He's going to come up and he has a message that he would like to share. Jamison is a member of our Student Council, basketball, cross country, track, FBLA, and the National Honor Society. Mr. Jamison Conway.
Good morning. My name is Jamison Conway, and on behalf of the student body, I would like to welcome all students, staff, family, and most importantly, veterans to our 2025 Veterans Day program. Today is not just another school assembly. Today is a day to remember. Today is a day to reflect. Today is a day to honor. And most importantly, today is a day to be thankful. In 1776, on a hot and humid day in Pennsylvania, 56 men chose to risk all they had known in pursuit of freedom. 249 years later, freedom is still the backbone of our great nation. This freedom is protected by brave men and women who make extraordinary sacrifices and act with unparalleled courage. They serve not for themselves, but for you. And they do it all in the name of freedom. When we think of these veterans, it's easy to picture folded up uniforms, shiny medals, or dusty old pictures. But over the course of my short life, I've learned that behind every single uniform, medal, or picture is a story. A story of courage, selflessness, and bravery. Behind every single uniform is a mother, a father, a daughter, or a son. These people make the ultimate choice, and sometimes pay the ultimate price. Freedom is not free. Freedom is a gift that comes from courage and sacrifice. It is preserved by the selfless few who are willing to risk everything, not for glory, not for recognition, but instead for people they will never meet and generations that will never know their name. Veterans carry a responsibility far greater than any of us want to or can imagine. They offer their strength, their courage, and in the most dire circumstances, their lives, so that you may live freely, safely, and without fear. But their sacrifice is not only measured by the hardships they endure or the dangers they overcome. It is also measured in the quiet dignity of doing their duty, in the discipline of putting something larger than themselves first, and in the humility of returning home to the same communities and the same people they swore their lives to protect. Freedom is maintained in the moments that are not seen, in the decisions that go unpraised, and in the courage that seeks no attention. It is important to remember that as the recipients of this gift of freedom, we are also given a responsibility. It is our responsibility to honor that price, that choice those brave men and women made, not with just words, but with our actions. We must do this by living with integrity, serving those around us, and most importantly, cherishing the freedoms we've been gifted. Veterans remind us of lessons that extend far beyond the battlefield. They show us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act despite it. They show us that leadership is not about being in charge, but about taking care of those in your charge. And they show us that service is not about recognition, but about putting the need of something greater than yourself first. These are lessons that we can carry into our own lives, guiding our choices, shaping our character, and inspiring us to act with courage, humility, and integrity. To close, I would like to once again say thank you to our veterans. Thank you for your service, for your strength, and for the example you've set for all of us. You've shown what it means to be committed, to be brave, and to be selfless beyond measure, and we're eternally grateful for that. To everyone else, if you remember nothing else from my speech today, I ask you to remember this. Whenever you see a veteran walking down the street, take a moment to walk up to them, to shake their hand, and to thank them for their service, their sacrifice, and their courage. Do this because the very fact that you have the freedom to walk down that street and shake that veteran's hand is in itself a gift given to you by every veteran who has ever served. Thank you, and God bless.
Mr. Lambert Zobek is going to do our invocation as the acting Legion chaplain.
O God of our hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories thou hast granted us and to those people who have united with us to stamp out the evils of aggression, intolerance, and greed. We beseech thee to bring the blessings of understanding to the families and friends in this and other lands of those who have given their lives that men may be free. Grant, O God, that the closest to the fallen may mingle the pain of their losses with the ennobling light of sacrifice for civilization, sacrifice for a better world for this and other generations yet unborn. Touch thou the souls of people in every land with the enduring light of wisdom, so we may form a brotherhood which will strive to further the arts of peace under the laws and ethics blessed by thy love. Grant us now and the continuing blessing upon veterans, unity, strength, that may victories possible in war, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen.
At this time, the Wilber-Clatonia 4th grade students are going to honor our veterans by singing This Land Is Yours under the direction of Mr. Mark Porter and accompanied by Miss Judy Burka. Thank you, 4th graders. At this time, I'm going to invite Mr. Larry Himmelfeld to come up and introduce our speaker.
I'm going to introduce the speaker for today. He's an Air Force veteran in 1969 to 1973. He's been past department commander for 2 years. He's been commander in our post for several years. And he's active in groups such as the Housing Authority and the Saline County Commissioners. He's a father of 2 with 4 granddaughters. Gary Wood.
Good morning, veterans, active duty military, Guard and Reserve members, Legion, auxiliary members, administration staff, visitors, and students. First, let us honor our country and the Marine Corps. Both are celebrating their 250th birthday this coming year. Did you hear it? Did you hear the same thing that all the people around the world heard in 1918? Did you hear the silence that enveloped Europe and Asia as peace reigned after 4 years of brutal fighting? Today, we gather to honor America's veterans for their service and sacrifice. In 1919, President Wilson proclaimed Armistice Day to commemorate the end of hostilities in the war to end all wars. Although the treaty to end this war had been signed months earlier, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, the guns fell silent. Armistice Day became the legal holiday in the U.S. in 1938. In 1954, President Eisenhower signed into law a bill that changed today to Veterans Day to honor all veterans, living and deceased. About 44 million men and women have served in our armed forces, including over 3,200 from Saline County. More than 1.2 million men and women have given their lives while on active duty for our country since our founding. That includes 103 from Saline County. Let us spend some time talking about those we call veterans. We come in all shapes and sizes, races, national origins, religions, and creeds. But we have some things in common. We are common people you meet on the street, not military professionals. Most return to civilian life after service and work in their community. And the vast majority perform their duties well to protect our country. All veterans gave a part of themselves, and far too many died protecting us. All these men and women are part of the largest family in the world, U.S. veterans. The fate of some veterans, however, is not officially known. From World War II to today, over 40,000 veterans are listed as missing in action. The majority of these are from World War II. Sadly, many disappeared, and their fate will never be known by their families. We Americans do not forget. This is what Veterans Day is really about. We remember the brave and honorable men and women who have served in our armed forces since the founding of our nation. 10 years ago, a veteran received an overdue but well-deserved recognition nearly a century after his brave and legendary service. William Shemin was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for his World War I heroism. While fighting in France as a member of the Army's 47th Infantry Regiment, Sergeant Shemin repeatedly left cover and exposed himself to enemy machine gun and rifle fire while rescuing wounded comrades over a 3-day period. His bravery inspired his fellow soldiers to recommend him for the nation's highest award. The request at the time was downgraded to a Distinguished Service Cross, the nation's second highest award. Shemin responded with the humility that epitomizes so many heroes, saying, quote, "War is not about medals. I love my country, I love my men. That's all that counts." While Medal of Honor recipients are an elite class among the special group of people that we call veterans, Shemin's love for his country and his fellow soldier is typical of the men and women we honor today. It is a brotherhood and a sisterhood, a bond cemented with blood. Just this summer, 6 soldiers risked their lives and gave aid to the wounded while subduing a shooter who opened fire at Fort Stewart, Georgia. The instant reaction of the 2nd Armored Brigade combat team was credited by law enforcement with preventing fatalities. While not all veterans see combat and express willingness to sacrifice one's life as a requirement, it has been part of the commitment of military service since George Washington commanded our first troops. And it is not the only commitment to service that our veterans make. Chances are that if you surveyed your local police or fire departments, you would find that a high percentage of their members are veterans. We have some in our community. When an emergency hit, there is a good chance that it is a veteran who is the first to respond. In most American communities, July 4th, 2025 was a day of celebration. For Central Texas, it was a day of horror. Flash floods ravaged Carroll County and killed 138 people, including many young girls attending a summer camp. The death toll would have been much higher had it not been for the extraordinary action of the Coast Guard rescue swimmer, Scott Ruskin, and his crew. The 26-year-old New Jersey native led the search and triage operations at Camp Mystic and is credited with rescuing 169 victims. Ruskin's actions were personally recognized by the Secretary of Homeland Security. He responded with the modesty that is so common among U.S. veterans. "I'm just doing a job. This is what I signed up for, and I think that any single Coast Guard pilot, flight mechanic, whoever it may be, would have done the exact same thing in our situation. We just happen to be the crew that got the case." When a veteran leaves the military, he or she is likely to be a key contributor to our communities. It may be as a school teacher, a construction worker, or a first responder. They may be a business owner, a real estate agent, or a medical professional. Regardless of occupation, veterans take their mission seriously. In short, veterans make our neighborhoods better. By virtue of your attendance here, you've shown appreciation for veterans. You are veterans, friends of veterans, families of veterans, co-workers, and neighbors. It is up to us to ensure that every veteran feels that his or her service to this country is appreciated by their fellow Americans. According to an unknown author, in times of danger, and not before, God the soldier all men adore. Danger is past and all is righted, God is forgotten, and the soldier is slighted. For many veterans, our nation was important enough to endure long separations from their family, miss the births of children, freeze in sub-zero temperatures, roast in faraway deserts, lose limbs, and far too often their lives. Their families served and sacrificed as well. The spouses had to endure career interruptions, change of addresses, and taking care of the kids. The children often have to deal with changes in schools, separation from friends, and hardest of all, the uncertainty of whether mom or dad will live through their next combat tour. You cannot fight a war without veterans, and while the idea of a society without conflict is appealing, our veterans have liberated slaves, stopped genocides, toppled terrorists, and secured freedom for our country. Sadly, the memories of war, the sacrifices made, and the difficulties transitioning to civilian society have taken a toll on too many veterans. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, more than 17 veterans a day take their own lives. Some believe the number is much higher. Regardless, one suicide is too many. And we call on all Americans, all of you, to be the one to save one. Reach out to a veteran or anyone you think may be struggling. Ask how he or she is doing. Most of all, listen. Remember the three numbers 988. 988 is the national crisis line for anyone who is having suicidal thoughts. A situation that may seem hopeless today will certainly look better tomorrow when you realize you have the support of people who truly care. There is no better way to thank a veteran for their service than to let him or her know that we got their back. After all, veterans have had America's back for 250 years, humbly and proudly keeping our nation free, no matter the danger. This poem, entitled "In Flanders Fields" by Canadian John McCrae, seems to describe the fallen heroes of all wars. In Flanders fields, the poppies grow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt on, saw sunset glow. Love and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field. At this time, if you're an active duty military, would you please stand? If you're in the National Guard or Reserve, please stand. If you're a veteran, please stand. Let us always remember and honor them. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wooten. We're going to get the band going here really quickly. The Wilber-Clatonia Band, under the direction of Miss Leanne Campbell, is now going to honor our veterans and our current servicemen and women by playing Jeremy Martin's Armed Services Medley. The songs will be played in the following order: Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, and Coast Guard. We invite all veterans and current servicemen and women to stand during their service song to be recognized. minute to get ready, they're going to sing America under the direction of Mr. Mark Hoyer and accompanied with Judy Zerka. Following the choir performance, please stand and show your pride by joining the Wilber-Clatonia High School Band and Choir in singing God Bless America. The notes and the lyrics for the hymn or for the song are found in the bottom corner of your program. Following God Bless America, please remain standing because we're going to do the firing of volleys, the playing of taps, and the retirement of colors. In military tradition, the volleys have been fired as a salute to the deceased, and they indicate that they have been properly cared for. Taps has become one of our national song of remembrance, and its immediately recognizable notes conjure memories of lost love, instill hope, and bring comfort and peace to the families and communities of those who have served and continue to serve with honor. It looks like our choir is ready. Mr. Hoyer. stand, we will go ahead and sing God Bless America.
Firing squad, fall out, prepare to fire. Squad, stand cut. Present arms. Order, arms. Color bearers, prepare to retire the colors. Present arms, retire the colors. Order. Arms.
All right. On behalf of all the students and staff at Wilber-Clatonia schools, I want to extend a sincere thank you to the Louis Milan Legion Post and the auxiliary for all of our guests for joining us today. Our veterans and current service members have sacrificed so much. Their pride in their country and in their beliefs and ideals, like duty and honor, have allowed us to all live a better life. Thank you again for your service. And this concludes our 2025 Wilber-Clatonia Veterans Day program. As a reminder to all of our guests, and not just veterans and service members, but all community members that are here today, please come join our student council out in the high school commons for cookies and coffee. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss our high school student council members. Please head up to the high school commons. Elementary students, you're going to be dismissed kind of by your teachers as you're ready to go. Seniors, once our student council members are out, you can start to head off and out back to class. Okay, juniors and sophomores, head on back to class.